What's going on, guys? Welcome back to BlackTideTV. You've caught me anxiously awaiting the first weekly reset of Destiny 2. They're currently doing some server maintenance, and so I thought we could jump on today and get a video going pretty early. In today's video, you'll see some meditations gameplay. Meditations are basically campaign do-overs. There's a certain area that you can go to in your new social space once you complete the campaign to play campaign missions again, but you only have certain select missions that you can do each and every week. Yes, there is a new social space once you complete the campaign, and in briefly mentioning that, I should also mention that today's video will include spoilers from the Destiny campaign, so if you haven't completed it yet and you actually care about the campaign in this game, I would say go complete your campaign first and then come back to this. You're going to want to complete the campaign in Destiny 2 as soon as possible anyways, as we've already discussed on this channel. Hitting level 20 and completing the main story missions will open up amazing opportunities for you in Destiny 2. Those are the first two things I can recommend you do in this game. Complete the campaign, hit level 20, and then you'll have full access to everything the game has to offer. But in today's video, I've got a campaign review for you in Destiny 2. I've got a smattering of ideas about the campaign. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with the campaign in Destiny 2, or at least I should call it the first campaign of Destiny 2, as each new expansion will add a new segment to the campaign story. But this main campaign is all about your redemption as a Guardian. Basically, at the very beginning, the tower is attacked. The tower that we all know and love from the original Destiny. It is attacked, it is destroyed, the Cabal have come in and they have taken over this one new guy called Gaul. And he wants to harvest the Traveler's Light for himself, and so he banishes you. Well, basically he tries to kill you, but somehow you survive, and that's one of the little problems I have with the story already. There's a massive plot hole there in that all of the Guardians are hundreds of thousands of years old. Like, they're friggin' old men, and they've been brought back to life by the Traveler's Light. So the second that the Traveler loses its light, all of the ghosts should die, all of the Guardians should die. They all kind of briefly mention how if they die this time, there will not be any coming back, is what they say. We can't respawn anymore, the ghosts can't bring us back because they don't have the Traveler's Light, at least until you reach the Traveler's Shard, which gives you and you alone your light. Apparently none of the other Guardians, even the main Vanguard, can't access the light from that Traveler's Shard that you find in the middle of Europe, I think it is. But you have all these new planets to explore. You have to basically come back from nothing. You have to gather up all of the Vanguards. So that's Ikora, that's Cade 6, and that's Zavala. So your head Hunter, your head Titan, and your head Warlock. You have to collect them all together, and as you collect them, you'll be given new opportunities. You can do new quests, you can do new things in the campaign, and you basically gather up your forces and then you bring them to Gaul and you attack Gaul at the end. Of course, you have to defeat him in the final battle, and that's another little problem that I had with the game. Just briefly mentioning the plot here. The final battle with Gaul was none too spectacular, definitely not even close to reminiscent of the Black Garden from the original vanilla Destiny. If you got to that final battle in the original Destiny and you had to defeat those 3 Vex bosses back to back to win the game, that was very difficult, regardless of what level you were, what light level you were, whereas this time around, the final enemy, Gaul, is not too difficult to defeat. We defeated him in maybe 10 minutes flat, and that's only because he had a very large health bar, not because he was difficult whatsoever. I don't think any of my fire team died when we were defeating Gaul. He does switch elements every so often, which is an interesting gameplay mechanic, but it doesn't really make a huge difference, and really the final battle was a huge letdown. In fact, the whole third act of the plot was just a major letdown. It's like the writers gave up, or they didn't know where to go with the rest of the campaign, the story itself, because you have all of these Vanguard people together and you need to devise a plan to attack, and now all of a sudden they have this doomsday device, and there's just all of these plot elements kind of thrown out there, and the entire time you're playing through the campaign, the enemy Gaul, you're seeing like these little videos of him in between missions, and he is very honorable, and he's like, I want to do this the right way. He's like, I want the Traveler to notice me and to give me its light willingly. I don't want to take it by force. And then towards the end, he's just like, ah, fuck it, I'm just going to take it by force. So he just loses all of that character development that you've seen throughout the entire story, and it just feels really lackluster by the time you get to the end of the campaign. It almost falls off in a way that it's like the original Destiny did, where there was multiple writers and they just didn't want to follow each other's paths. it's almost like they did that again. The story is way better, orders of magnitude better than the original Destiny, but it's still very lacking. It still could use a lot of work. There is a good amount of character development, and there's a lot of good cutscenes and all that stuff. Another major problem that I had with the cutscenes, the character development, all of these things going for the game with characters and being a guardian and all of these themes, your guardian is still mute. You can't talk, which is the stupidest gameplay mechanic ever. I know it's a first-person shooter, but besides going, when you're grunting, being shot at, you don't talk at all. Your ghost does all the talking for you, which is a huge problem from the original game that they brought back. I think your character should be able to talk with these other, like the Vanguard and with the enemies. You should be able to talk to them, and that's just a minor gripe, but it is a big problem because it's a AAA game. It's a huge story-based, story-driven game, and your character can't talk, not to mention your character customization is still the same old character customization from the original Destiny. It was very lackluster, very plain in terms of character customization, in terms of character development for yourself, but you did see the character development of the enemy and of the Vanguard people that you're working with. It just sucks that you were kind of left out of that loop. Now, I think the whole game as a whole was really good. I think the campaign was hitting in the right places. It just needed a little bit more work. They needed to touch up some things. They needed to include a little bit more character development, maybe spend a little bit more time on the story. I like how it kind of introduces you to all of the other features, the end game features like strikes and patrols, and they just give you those things, little tastes of those things as you're playing through the campaign. But overall, I think the campaign was basically lackluster. It's kind of right across the board. It was okay, it wasn't great, it wasn't bad. There were things that they could improve, there were things that they did very well. But the campaign is not the end game of Destiny, it's just basically the tutorial. It's just the introduction, and now they've introduced these new characters that'll be coming in the first expansion, hopefully. There's this little tease about how the Traveler woke up, and now there's a whole bunch going on with Destiny. The campaign is just scratching the surface. And in terms of scratching the surface, I think it did an okay job. So definitely do the campaign and hit level 20 before you do anything else. But if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.